Hey guys, this is SC Slayridge, and I'm here to make that Titan tutorial that you've always wanted to see. Yes, that's right, the skating tutorial, the one we've been waiting for so long. And here we are. Okay, so the very first thing that you're going to want to do is learn how to mash the jump button really fast, because the faster that you mash the jump button, the faster you skate, and that's all there is to it. Alright, well, see you next time, guys. Like, comment, no, I'm just kidding. It's not that simple. I see a lot of people saying it is, but there's a lot of technique involved, and there are a lot of little advanced tricks that you can do. So I feel like that's what this video is about more than anything, and I'm here to help you improve your technique. It's not just mash the jump button. Please stop saying it's just mash the jump button. Also, something that I would like to point out at the very beginning of this video is I am a really fast talker. I am aware of that. So if that causes you problems and it's hard to follow my video, I'm going to go ahead and recommend Scardrow's Titan skating tutorial. That's SCARDROW. He does a pretty good job covering the same subject, so if my video isn't able to help you, I would recommend you go ahead and check out his. But if you like my videos, you could always just pause them and go back if you need to see anything. I think that most of these points should come across after viewing them just one time, to be honest, so hopefully this is a helpful video for you. Very first thing that you want to do is lower your Titan's agility to basically 0. You want to take your Titan's agility and you want to see it at the minimum possible value, which is basically no agility. The higher your agility is, the more upward momentum you get when you jump. The more upward momentum you get when you jump, the less you're on the ground. The less you're on the ground, the less boost you get because your jump doesn't refresh. So basically, you want to have minimum agility when you're Titan skating. I know that's weird and counterintuitive, but I assure you it is much better for Titan skating. If you don't believe me, just try it out. Titan skating with no arm or agility is the way to go. So the first thing that you want to practice if you're trying to learn how to Titan skate is how to use shoulder charge properly. If you can use shoulder charge properly for Titan skating, then you can Titan skate in pretty much any other way without problem. So to practice shoulder charge, you're going to want to go ahead and get used to this timing right here. When your character starts letting their knee down after the shoulder charge, that's when you want to start mashing the jump button. If you do it too early or too late, it won't work. And I'll actually include some video clips so that you can see what happens if you do it wrong, and you'll be able to identify what the issue is with your skating. Right here, he's going to press the button too early, and he went up. He lost his boost. That's what happens if you try and press the jump button too early when you're shoulder charging, and that is before the animation where your character starts letting their leg down. You're not going to be able to see that in first person, so you're just going to have to develop a sense of timing, but this is what it looks like if you're pressing the jump button too early when you're trying to shoulder charge into a Titan skate. It's also possible to press the jump button too late, but it's pretty easy to see if you do that, because your character is either going to make contact with the ground fully and you'll jump off the ground to start your skate, which you don't really want to do after the shoulder charge, because the whole point of shoulder charge is to get into the air, or you just won't carry forward the momentum. It's a pretty easy change to see, so I don't think it's worth talking about too much. The biggest areas for improvement, I think, for a lot of people are changing their control scheme from default to jumper. I'll go in the opposite direction right here. It's changing my melee button and my jump button, so that's going to be weird, but here we go. I'm able to go a lot faster with the jump button when I'm a default because I can mash with my right thumb a lot easier than my left index finger. But the thing is, I can't turn my character because my thumb is pressing both the jump button and turning the analog stick to make my character look around. So I can't actually turn mid-skate while playing on jumper. That's why I prefer default, because as I'm turning, I can still skate. It makes it a lot more maneuverable in my opinion, and I would say that if you're trying to skate, you either need to learn how to play claw, which is arthritic and terrible in my opinion, and you can look that up online, or play jumper, which is not really as effective because mashing a button with your pointer finger is just harder. I'm just going to be honest with you, you're not going to be able to go as fast. But I think that it's a good compromise of both speed and accuracy if you aren't willing to play claw, which unfortunately for me, I'm not. Something else worth noting about switching to jumper versus default is that pressing the button fast does make a difference, but you can make up for a lot of that difference by just having good technique. Right here, I'm using my left index finger to jump as fast as I can up this hill. Uphill movements are usually pretty quick to skate, and you can see that I'm just looking left and right because I can do that because I'm playing jumper. Again, it's a pretty big advantage when you're actually in firefights and you need to turn a shotgun really quickly. But I went up that hill pretty fast, right? Like, I could go faster, and I'm going to show you a clip where I do go faster, but you can go pretty darn fast pressing the button with your index finger using practice. Pressing it with my right index finger, just clawing my hand over the controller weird, I can obviously go up the hill significantly faster, but the problem is I can't actually turn my camera when I'm doing that. Again, claw is a really good solution if you're willing to learn the control scheme. It also has the benefit of allowing you to do revives while aiming, so you'll be able to mash buttons stupid fast if you're actually really good at it. I just think jumper is probably, again, a good middleman of difficulty to reward in terms of learning a new control scheme. There are a couple tricks you can do too. This is sparrow skating, where you drift with the sparrow and then use a side thrust. Right after pressing you get off the sparrow, you press get off the sparrow, use a side thrust, start spamming the jump button. You can go really, really fast doing that. It's a pretty neat thing. You could probably show a couple people in your friends list and they won't have seen it. It's actually able to get up to sparrow speed pretty much instantaneously. But my personal favorite trick is juking people out in PvP. You run away from them, turn around, shoulder charge, and start skating. Immediately, you've changed your momentum from one direction to the exact opposite direction, but faster, and it is a really, really good way to kill people in PvP because it's extremely hard to predict. You can actually do the same thing with the Twilight Garrison to pretty great effect, but not necessarily in a 180-degree motion. Another thing you'll notice me doing in a lot of these clips is pressing the double jump button with 2 bursts and then 1 burst after those 2 bursts as I'm getting closer to the ground. I do that to prevent my character from getting too high into the air. That's actually a much better way to gain speed than to try and mash the button if you're not going to be able to do it with good consistency. If you can't do 3 bursts really, really quickly, you might as well do 2 bursts kind of quickly and then 1 burst immediately afterwards. I've found that that works quite well for me, and it also saves me a burst if I'm not actually going to be able to get as far as I expect my character to. Some final notes, things I would like to recap and maybe explain a little bit further. I said that if you can use shoulder charge to Titan Skate, you can use Twilight Garrison to Titan Skate. The reason I say that is because Twilight Garrison kind of is skating on training wheels, I would say. When you use the Twilight Garrison, you don't actually have any necessary timing required because you can't jump in the middle of the Twilight Garrison animation. So if you start pressing the jump button too early, it's not going to penalize you. As soon as you use the Twilight Garrison, as soon as you double press the dodge button, then you can start spamming the jump button and your character's going to come out of it skating. That's why it's a lot easier, and if you master the shoulder charge method, you will easily be able to go directly into the Twilight Garrison method, just not able to do the same thing in reverse. So, one final thing that I don't actually have any video evidence for is that you can use swords to jumpstart Titan skating. If you have any ammo on your sword, as in you cannot use the hilt, you can jump, swing, and then use timing like shoulder charge to get started with skating using a sword. That's really useful in PvE, especially if you are not wearing the Twilight Garrison, because it's the best way to jumpstart a skate from standing still outside of the Twilight Garrison. It doesn't require you to run first or anything like that, so it can be really useful if you, for whatever reason, lose your momentum. The big disadvantage of it is that 1, obviously it uses sword ammo, and 2, it makes it where your jump, for whatever reason, peters out much sooner. Like, when you use shoulder charge and then boost afterwards, and don't press the jump button anymore after that, your character will use their control jump to the fullest extent possible. If you do the same thing with a sword, for whatever reason, your control jump peters out much, much sooner. So it's not very good for long distance jumps, it's good almost exclusively for jump starting escape. Another thing I really didn't talk about much in the video, but it's going to be intuitively obvious if you fool around with Titan very much at all. If you use Twilight Garrison to corner like I have in some of these previous clips, you can go really, really fast and really, really unpredictably in the Crucible to where it's easily the best way to shotgun people in the entire game. Twilight Garrison is a very strong exotic, and I actually I'm going to go ahead and take this moment to shoehorn in my own thought that Twilight Garrison really should be intrinsic to Titans. I feel like it's too good of an exotic to pass up most of the time, and for that reason I really think they should consider putting it on Titans permanently in Destiny 2. It's really, really fun to use. I think that pretty much covers everything that I have for Titan skating. It's entirely possible that I've forgotten a ton of things, like, I didn't talk about look sensitivity. Higher is generally better if you're playing Titan with a shotgun, but let's not worry about that too much. If you have questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I'll try to reply to them. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.